I still believe in love in the marriage, I do. And I, you know, even though I've failed twice at it, I guess I'm not very good at it.
Heidi Klum and Seal's love story was once the epitome of a Hollywood power couple. Seemingly inseparable and living a fairy tale romance, they renewed their vows every year in a grand celebration while raising their 4 beautiful children together. They looked perfect, but then the unexpected happened, bringing an end to their perfect marriage. What led to this shocking split? And how did this decision affect their 4 children years after their parents' separation? Join us as we uncover the truth behind Heidi Klum and Seal's relationship and their family's journey. The end of a Hollywood dream. Heidi Klum and Seal were one of Hollywood's most celebrated couples. They had a unique love story with an annual vow renewal tradition and a shared commitment to raising their 4 children together. Their vow renewal was a defining aspect of their marriage, making everyone believe they had the perfect marriage. However, along the line, their love story came to an unexpected end. 8 years after getting married, the fairy tale crumbled. The beautiful yearly vow renewals, which once symbolized their unwavering love, suddenly became meaningless. This left everyone in shock. They were unable to believe this was happening to one of their favorite Hollywood couples. What could have gone wrong behind the scenes? Stay tuned as we uncover the truth. "I think I got married 8 times to Seal," Klum admitted in an interview regarding their annual vow renewal. She explained that she initially thought it would be fun, a feast of love.
Well, not right now. I'm very single and very ready to mingle.
You're ready to mingle?
Yeah.
But in the end, it didn't work. Klum emphasized that she had tried. No one can say she hadn't given her all to make her marriage work. However, despite her efforts, the marriage came to an end. Over time, Klum began losing faith in their yearly vow renewal. She realized that they weren't enough to fix their issues. Despite their promise to love each other and do better, things weren't working between them. However, Klum kept showing up year after year, hoping for a change, until she reached her breaking point. She realized their marriage was over, and so she made the painful decision to call it quits. It was the end of a Hollywood dream marriage. The decision to end their marriage left the public questioning everything. Why did the couple continue renewing their vows when they knew things weren't working? Some even wondered, hadn't they just renewed their vow a few months before the split? Why not push forward again? Why end it now? These were the questions on everyone's mind. But what did Seal have to say about this? Stick around to find out. Addressing the speculations, Seal revealed something unexpected about their yearly vow renewal. He admitted that the idea of a vow renewal was Heidi Klum's. She was the one who insisted on the yearly tradition. He also confessed that over time, the party had turned into a little bit of a circus, something he wasn't fond of. And being a private person, he disliked the publicity surrounding their vow. Seal stated that while the ceremony wasn't all unpleasant, he questioned the necessity. However, he did it for the woman he loved, because in marriage, you have to be a team player, understanding that your partner's vision becomes yours. If anything, Seal played the role of a supportive and loving husband to Klum, supporting her in hosting impressive parties every year to celebrate their anniversary and renew their vows. While their public display of love was admired by many and frequently made the headlines, little did people know that Seal wasn't truly happy with it, until now. Divorce often reveals hidden truths about people, and the split was no exception. But what would it reveal about Seal and Klum? Keep watching to find out. During their 8 years of marriage, Seal and Klum held several vow renewal ceremonies, each with a different theme. Some years they dressed as a bride and groom. Other years they opted for playful themes like white trash. After the main party, which usually lasts for about an hour, the couple would retreat to a private beach with their 4 kids, reading their vows to each other as the sun set. Seal referred to this as a special moment, and it became a family tradition that binds them all together. It symbolized unity and a ritual their children looked up to. But if family meant so much to them, what could have caused their separation? Why did they choose to go their separate ways after 8 years of reaffirming their love? 8 years after marrying Heidi Klum, Seal and Klum announced their separation in January 2012, and just 3 months later Klum filed for a divorce, citing that they had grown apart. In a joint statement released, they admitted that they had enjoyed 7 very loving, loyal, and happy years of marriage, and after much soul-searching they decided to separate. They emphasized that they had the deepest respect for each other and continued to love one another. But if they still loved each other as they claimed, why were they going their separate ways? Following their shocking split, Klum hinted that their marriage wasn't as perfect as it seemed, though she refused to share in-depth details on what went wrong. She said people didn't need to know who did what, and avoided speaking, positively or negatively, about their relationship. In her words, every couple goes through things, and she didn't think it was necessary to air their private matters, knowing it was going to be printed in the magazines and discussed publicly, which could affect their children. However, Seal had something more to say. After the separation, Seal described Klum as the most wonderful woman in the world and insisted that their love for each other was still intact. But if that were true, why the breakup? The truth about Seal and Klum's divorce. After the announcement of their separation, Seal continued with his public appearances. First, he honored a long-standing engagement on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, where he discussed how he was dealing with the divorce. He admitted that he was shocked by the divorce, emphasizing that no one goes into a marriage expecting a divorce. Everyone goes in with the greatest intentions, he said, explaining that words like "I do" and "till death do us part" weren't merely words, but words with deep meaning. Despite everything, Seal said he still loved Klum, and according to him, Klum still loved him too. But something stood out during the show. Seal was still wearing his wedding ring. When asked why he still wore his wedding ring, he explained that the ring was a token of how he felt about Klum. They had spent nearly a decade together, and he rarely took off the ring. Just because they were ending things didn't mean he had to take off the ring and erase their shared connection. He added that he and Klum would always be connected in many ways for the rest of their lives, through their children, and the tremendous admiration, respect, and love they once shared. Seal admitted he didn't know how long he would keep wearing the ring, but for now, he felt so comfortable with it. Was this a sign that Seal hopes for reconciliation, or was he struggling to accept that he and Klum were over? Eventually, Seal took off his wedding ring as Klum began dating her bodyguard, Martin Kirsten, a few months after their separation. As the divorce process continued, Seal made a shocking accusation claiming that Klum had been cheating on him with her bodyguard while they were still married. Seal stated that while he didn't expect anything different from the bodyguard, he believed Klum would have shown a little more class to at least wait until they were officially separated before fornicating. Seal's words were strong, suggesting that he was deeply hurt. In response, Klum denied the cheating allegations. She said that she never dated Kristen while married to Seal. Nevertheless, Seal took off the wedding ring, and their divorce was finalized in October 2014. That same year, Klum also ended her relationship with Martin Kristen, leaving many asking if he was just a rebound. When asked if he and Klum had worked together as a team in raising their kids, he simply said, "No." Klum also acknowledged that it wasn't rosy to co-parent with someone you're not with anymore, as her relationship with Seal after the divorce was sometimes hard, but all they could do was try for the children. It was a shame that the once powerful Hollywood couple, admired by many, couldn't even find common ground to co-parent their kids together. In 2020, their struggles became public again when Seal refused to let Klum take their children to Germany with her for work. This was due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, Klum understood his concerns about his children being exposed to COVID-19. Klum assured him of safety measures, but he disagreed, so she filed for an emergency court hearing to get permission to take her children with her. Seal, on the other hand, argued that traveling during the pandemic was a risk. Plus, he wanted his children close to him in the U.S. But it wasn't just Klum fighting against Seal in court. Lenny, Seal's adopted eldest daughter, also submitted a declaration on behalf of herself and her siblings. She wrote, "This is hard because I love both of my parents, but I feel like I need to speak up. My mom needs to film in Germany for a few months, and my siblings and I want to go with her. So far, my dad is not allowing us to go, though we have tried to tell him why we want to. Lenny also added that traveling to Europe would be an amazing opportunity for her and her siblings to visit their grandparents. She also noted that her younger siblings were really upset and scared at the thought of being without their mother. A week after, the couple settled on a custody agreement for Klum to travel with the kids, while Seal was given expanded time with his kids before and after the trip. Additionally, he was given the freedom to visit them in Germany whenever he liked. Although Seal had once said co-parenting with Klum was challenging, over time seems to have a peaceful balance, likely because their kids are now older and more independent. Both parents have also come to realize that their relationship with their children is what truly matters. But the story doesn't end there. Stick around as we look at what's becoming of Heidi Klum and Seal's kids. Heidi Klum and Seal's kids. Klum and Seal share 4 kids: Henry, John, Lou, as well as Lenny, whom he adopted after marrying Klum. Following their divorce in 2014, the children primarily lived with their mother and her current husband, Tom Cowlitz. Cowlitz sees himself as an extra dad to Seal kids, and over time they've grown closer. In fact, in 2019 they helped him plan his surprise proposal for Klum. Klum described this as the sweetest thing her partner has done, asking her children's permission for her hand. Though Klum has spent more time with the kids due to having primary custody, Seal has also remained a part of their lives, making rare appearances in all of his children's lives. For instance, he graced the Los Angeles premiere of Book of Clarence, a film directed by Seal's brother, James Samuel. The event felt more like a family reunion with Klum also in attendance. Now, let's take a closer look at the Klum and Seal's kids, whom Klum has tried to keep away from public eyes as much as possible. Lenny Olam Klum, born on May 4, 2004 in New York City, is the daughter of Heidi Klum and Flavio Briatore. However, when they got divorced while she was pregnant, she met Seal, and they began dating and then got married. However, when Lenny was 5 years old, Seal adopted her as his daughter. Though Klum had always shielded her kids from the public, she admitted that Lenny had always been meant for fame. When Klum was 4 months pregnant with Lenny, she walked the 2003 Victoria's Secret runway show. Today, Lenny is following in her mother's footsteps as a model. However, Klum didn't want her to pursue the career until she turned 16. Lenny's first modeling gig was posing alongside her mother on the cover of Vogue Germany. Since then, Lenny has been gracing the covers of several magazines and building a career in the industry. She has also made several red carpet appearances with her parents. In October 2021, she attended the premiere of Netflix's The Harder They Fall Together with Seal, and in June 2022, Lenny and Klum were photographed at the premiere of Jurassic World: Dominion. Despite her modeling career, Lenny is also focused on education. She's currently in NYC studying interior design while continuing to model. Among all of Klum's children, Lenny is the most famous due to her public presence. In 2023, Seal shared a picture of himself with Lenny on Instagram with the caption, "In New York, with the young woman who changed my life for the better 19 years ago. Thank you, Lenny, for making me a better person." Henry Gunther Adamola Dashtu. Samuel is the first biological son of Klum and Seal, born on September 12, 2005, in Los Angeles. Henry has been said to have a striking resemblance to his father since he was a baby. As a child, Henry loved playing dress-up with his sister, often dressing in his sister's princess dresses. All these played a role in Henry's unique sense of fashion, which always stood out, like the time he wore dinosaur slippers to a fancy dinner. Although difficult to walk in, he kept his composure and didn't feel weird throughout the dinner. Like his siblings, Klum tried to keep him away from the spotlight, barely showing his entire face in pictures she posted. However, today Henry is also following in his mom's footsteps as a model. In January at the Lena Erziak Haute Couture Spring-Summer 2025 show, Henry made his runway debut. wondering if the other kids followed in their father's footsteps? Stick around to find out. Johann Riley, Fyodor Taiwo Samuel, the second son of Klum and Seal, was born on November 22, 2006. While Henry looks like his father, Jonna is a replica of his mother. As a child, Johann was very artistic. He loved to draw and paint. While his siblings watched movies, Jonna would be painting monsters. In 2013, Klum revealed that his drawing and creativity were the inspiration behind her children's monster clothing line. Johann was very excited to be a part of the process and proudly wore his creations, telling people, "I painted this shirt." Seal and Johann also share a good relationship, and he had once referred to Johann as the light of his life and one of the 4 best things he was ever fortunate to be a part of. Lou Sulola Samuel, 15, Klum and Seal's youngest child, was born on October 9, 2009. Unlike her siblings, Lou has a different set of interests. She's the only one of Klum's kids who seems to have inherited Klum's love of Halloween. Klum is known for her huge Halloween parties and epic costumes, a tradition she hoped to pass on to her children. While most of her kids care less about the Halloween holiday, Lou fully embraced it, dressing up as an anime character complete with makeup, wigs, and accessories to look the part. Lou also loves to dance. A video of her performing a hip-hop routine alongside famous choreographer Miguel Zarate went viral, showcasing her impressive dance moves. Today, all 4 of Klum and Seal's children are thriving in their ways. Some are following in their parents' footsteps in the entertainment industry, while some are developing their unique passion. As for their parents, Seal and Heidi Klum are living different lives. Klum is happily married to Tom Kaulitz, while Seal has kept his relationship away from the spotlight. He is currently dating Laura Strayer, his former assistant, and hasn't remarried since he and Klum ended their marriage. Klum and Seal's love story is a unique one that began in 2004 in the lobby of a New York City hotel. Seal had just finished a workout and was wearing a fitting gym attire when Klum met him. According to her, she saw pretty much everything as he was all sweaty and his clothes were overly tight on him. This led to an instant attraction, but Klum was pregnant with her ex-husband's child, Lenny. When she told Seal about it, he joked that she was pregnant already for him, but she clarified that it was for her ex-husband. This didn't make Seal black out. Instead, he stood by Klum and became her baby's father, ready to do all that her ex-husband couldn't do for them. He even adopted Lenny as his child. A few months after Lenny was born, Seal asked Klum to marry him, and she happily accepted him. They went on to have 3 more children after Lenny and made it a tradition to renew their vows yearly with close friends and family. Their love story made them the envy of many and frequently made them the topic of discussion in the headlines. However, they continued to pursue their careers and excelled in it. Just a year before their divorce, Klum praised Seal for his good parenting skills, saying, "When I first met Seal, he had a kindness and compassion that was so sincere I knew he'd be a good father. He has infinite amounts of love and patience for our kids. He puts me and the children first." Despite all of this, their marriage still ended in a divorce. What do you think of Seal and Heidi Klum's divorce? And what do you think of their 4 lovely children? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You will enjoy it.